Okay, let's see here. Are we waking up? Let's see. There we go. YouTube's starting to show some life. Rockfin, where are you? Rockfin? Rockfin's a little slower. YouTube might have beat Rockfin today. Yeah, looks like it. I don't like it when YouTube wins. You guys know that. Okay, YouTube beat Rockfin. I don't, yeah, but that's okay. Twitter came at first. I mean, really, it was just the battle for second. We know this. What's up, everybody? Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Shout out to everyone in the future. And of course, everyone checking out the podcast later. Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron, the headline show of the week, where we go through a couple headlines that I think are very, very important. Before we get started, shout out to some of the folks who help make this show possible. Our friends over at Indie Left. Indie Left is a good place to find all the content creators you know and love. They curate a list. They update it twice a day. There's articles, streams, podcasts, you name it. To find out everything they got going on, to subscribe to their Discord, independentleft.media. All right, we got a couple things on the docket today. First of all, Status Coup. Shout out to Status Coup. They have a big bombshell revelation in regards to the Flint water crisis. They're one of the only outlets who's still covering the Flint water crisis. Way to go, corporate media. Way to go. Also, net neutrality update. Comcast going after Gigi Sohn. And we're going to talk about the free tests that are quote unquote now available. They don't ship out for a while, but we're going to be breaking some of that down. And here to help me through the headlines portion, it's that time of the month. Please welcome back to the show, Savage Joy. Joy, what's up?
Hey, thanks for having me back. This is one time of the month I actually look forward to.
Thanks. Hope all is well. Good to see you. And we're going to start with what's going on with the free tests. We'll go there first. So now there are free tests available. You can order them. And here's a link. If you're not sure of the link, I tweeted it out. A bunch of people tweeted it out. I got it from the person who tweeted at me first was, hey, it's me, David, support Status Coup. He tweeted this out. I just retweeted it. You can go and you can order tests. Now, here's what's going on. Tests are limited to one order per household, and an order has 4 tests. So if you are in a household that has more than 4 people, I guess you get to share a test. I don't know. So basically, this screws over poor people and very devout Catholics, to name a few. That's kind of where we're at, it seems like here. But it is one order per household, which is one order, of course, has 4 tests. So first of all, Joy, what are your thoughts on this? Let's just start there, and then I'm going to share some more on mine.
So, a few things. Number one, my husband is, he works in a group home. He works, in the community. One of his, fellow employees got COVID. One of his participants, same. So he has been feeling sick the past 3 days. Now, yes, we have shots and boosters that we all know that doesn't matter. You can still get it. So he hasn't been feeling well. He's been living downstairs while I'm still upstairs. And so I'm searching for tests. And because Joe said, just Google it. So that's what I'm doing. And
isn't that great? Just Google it.
That is so thoughtful.
I'm not trying to make light of what you're going through, but it's like it was Kamala who said it, right? Wasn't she just on the record going, just
Joe,
Google
Kamala, and the CDC?
That was a joint effort. They all combined their powers.
They're like, we all have to share that. It was my idea. No, seriously, it was mine.
So your husband is in a group, which, condolences, and I wish him all the best, obviously. And I still owe him a beer. And but yeah, so he's sick right now. It's likely COVID because people at his workplace have been getting it. You guys are trying to find tests, and you can't find tests anywhere.
No, I did the Google, and I called so many places. The nearest place that had a test available was in a neighboring state over 2 hours away. So, and that was now. They couldn't put it on hold. This was now. So
you got to get in the car.
Let's go tomorrow. That doesn't mean it's still going to be there. So,
right. And also, your husband is sick. You are legally blind. I'm assuming
I
you can't.
can't drive.
Yeah, you don't drive. Oh
Yeah, y'all
man.
don't want me on the road.
And these tests don't go out until like end of January. So I mean, did you place your order? I hope you at least placed your order.
I did.
Okay, that's
But
good.
one of the things that's so frustrating is when I made the post about this and how there's none local. I even called the hospitals. They said the rapid test, which is supposed to take 15 minutes, they are on a over 5 day wait right now. So even if you go in for a so-called rapid test, you are still waiting over 5 days for the results. So what people in my position, who are many, are basically being forced to decide is A, do you still go to work and go out in the community and stuff if you're sick and chance getting other people sick? Or B, do you just call off, your job and have no income if the chance you may have COVID? This is, these are your choices. So
It is insane. I mean, it is absolutely. I mean, there was that thing we covered last week on the show. What Red Lobster was pulling, they were making
yeah,
people work sick. 63% of people were like, "Yeah, I've worked sick.
yeah,
I probably worked with COVID." Some of them were like, "Yeah, we definitely worked with COVID." Like this is. Oh man,
absolutely.
and by the way, another thing I want to add to this, these tests don't go out until late January. So someone enjoy situation, this is not enough. And also, again, limited to one per household. So if you have more than 4 people in your household, I guess you're screwed. And for some people who might be hearing this and thinking like, you lefties, it's never enough for you people. Man, what do you want? They're doing what they can. Oh, really? Are they? Let's go across the pond for a second. In the UK, we can order 7 rapid COVID tests per person every 24 hours. And if you ever do need to pay for them, which is rare, they're $1. You know why? Because they cost 80 freaking cents to make. I'll repeat this tweet. In the UK, this is from a doctor out in the UK. In the UK, we can order 7 rapid COVID tests per person every 24 hours. That's with Boris Johnson. Not a great guy, but he looks like a Boy Scout compared to the bullshit we have. 7 tests every 24 hours.
Yeah, that's the thing. So rapid tests are not always very reliable. So
Sure, they're
most
not
of the time
perfect.
they give you 2 because
Yeah.
today it may say negative and tomorrow it may say positive. This is notoriously happening. So the fact that you have 4, if there's like my household, there's 2 of us, that means if we use one and we don't have COVID, then oh well, we have no other test to use it again.
Yeah.
So and also, here's something I learned last night that is so infuriating. Apartment buildings, people are trying to get those free COVID tests and they're showing up as already ordered.
Oh my God.
Does that
Really?
not give you goosebumps? So you have an apartment complex of like, 20 apartments at each address, and they're not able to get
That could
through.
potentially happen to me. I live in an apartment complex. There are over 30 units. I mean, so, this is remarkable. It really is. And look, yeah, like you said, these tests are not flawless. They're not perfect, but we sure as hell shouldn't have a shortage of them. I mean, there is no reason whatsoever we should have a testing shortage. And by the way, it wasn't until Jen Psaki stepped in it that you were even allowed to talk about this stuff. I mean, I brought up the testing shortage like years ago, and I was just like, why are tests so hard to get here? In other countries, they're $1 or free, and they're everywhere. We don't have them available here, so people can't test. That's messed up. What's going on? They should be provided by workplaces. They should be everywhere. You weren't even allowed to talk. I mean, that was just ignored until Jen Psaki stepped in it in that press conference by being
Right.
so painfully tone deaf. We've talked about that a lot here.
What do you
That
want
all
them for
of a sudden,
free?
yeah, what are we supposed to do? Just that thing that every other industrialized country figured out? She's a year away from being like, what are we just supposed to just give everyone health care? Is that what we're supposed to do? Just give everybody health care? Yeah, Jen, that's what we're supposed to do. It's
And on that note, a week ago or so, Biden said, well, now a lot of insurance plans are going to participate and you'll get them for free through them. However, there's over 50 million people uninsured. Okay, that's first. What about homeless people, stuff like that? They don't have an address to get these free tests. They don't
well,
have,
yeah.
any insurance as well. And furthermore, when I looked at the stipulations and actually dove into what he was proposing, a lot of them, you have to buy the test and be reimbursed.
Right. That's how they're doing it with the insurance thing. It is just so typically American. I mean, even the way this was like unrolled, there wasn't a bunch of huge announcements. I mean, of course, the press announced it, obviously, but so much of it was just people sharing the link. And people, I mean, someone tweeted it at me. I tweeted it out. That's how I initially heard about it. Some people, friends and family were texting the link to each other. And that's what we've grown used to here in the United States. It is every person for themselves. That's the society we live in. It's every person for themselves. So if you have a household that has a lot of people, tough shit. If you don't, maybe you'll get what you need. And if you live in a community where people are kind of trying to look out for one another, whether it be for food, whether it be for, health, whatever else, you're a lot luckier than a lot of people in this country, because that's the best thing you can hope for, because your government has abandoned you. That's just a fact. I mean, that's not me being doom and gloom. Like, that's just the honest freaking truth. And one thing I want to add to this, I talked about this in my short beach video yesterday. It makes it sound like I'm a fitness trainer or something. My short beach video. For anyone not in the know, I walk around the beach and I do like a minute segment, and it's fun. I enjoy doing it. But and then I do sit-ups in front of everyone. No, I don't do that part. Sit-ups on sand doesn't go well. I've done it before. Doesn't go well. But anyway, I mentioned this, and I think this is also an important thing to just store in the back of your mind. The fact that they are unrolling it this way, where they're measuring it by household, and it doesn't matter how many people are in your household, take note of this. If we ever have a true food distribution shortage in this country, which we're already inching towards it, if we ever have a real one to the point where you can't get anything and they need to start supplying things to people, we are screwed, because they will do the same freaking thing. So take note on this one, and trust me on this one. Learn your local food economy now. Don't wait. Learn now. There's a good chance there's more available than you realize. Learn now. If you can grow a garden, do it. I know that it's winter, and I know that like there's a lot of hurdles there for places where it's winter. I get that. There's still stuff going on in your local food economy. Learn it. Learn it. You have to.
And one other thing is, when how when you get the post office comes, at least in Pennsylvania, so I'm sure when the post office, when the mailman comes, they put that like circular junk in every Monday or whatever, where they just, it's
You mean like the
coupons
coupons and shit?
everyone
Yeah.
gets regardless. Well, all these tests are coming from the post office. So my question is, why can't the post office just have bins of those in their mail trucks and then just stick one in every mailbox? That's my question.
Right.
Why
Yeah. Why
can't
didn't they
do it
just?
automatically?
No kidding. Why didn't they just? I mean, it's like there's no. These are all choices. I mean, especially when you look at the MMT, like you just learned, it's like these are all choices. They're making the choice to not help you. They're making the deliberate choice to not help you. They're making the deliberate choice to do the absolute bare minimum. And why? Well, because they want people desperate and working. That's what they want.
And last night on my show, I inadvertently thought of something as I was talking. Like say in my situation, if we get these tests in 10 days and my husband did have COVID, it probably won't still show up. So it'll look like he never had it, kind of thing. That helps their numbers, because now all these people are having COVID and they're not being reported. So it looks like they are doing a better job controlling COVID than they actually are doing.
What a mess. Well, I mean, I'm glad that there's at least something being done as opposed to nothing. But once again, they figured out how to do the absolute bare minimum, almost to just make it look like they're actually doing something.
Mhm.
This should have happened years ago. I mean, this should have happened in like April of 2020. This should have happened. This should preferably just automatically going to everyone, not just like one per household, and we don't care who's in your household. This should have happened years ago.
Well,
It's
there is
happening
no
now.
federal solution.
There is. We're just not going to do it. There is. I mean, other countries have. Oh yeah, never mind. I missed the reference. I'm sorry.
I was like, I didn't say that.
No. Yeah, that was so funny when he said that. And then the funniest was when people sugarcoated that. Like when people were just like, it's context. He was just trying to encourage the governors.
Yeah, no,
he said other stuff before. Like, yes, he said other stuff before where he was inflating the bare minimum that they did. And he was talking about job numbers. That's what they do. They talk about job numbers.
And it's like people have to realize when you break it down, federal means there is no federal solution, means there is no stimulus, there is no unemployment extension, there is no pause on student loan payments and interest. These are all federal things. That is what he said to obfuscate those things, especially not just testing, but dig deeper. It was, I'm not going to do shit for you. All that is federal. Leave it up to your states.
You mentioned student loans. That could disappear tomorrow. Joe Biden doesn't want to. That Medicare could disappear for all could be tomorrow. Signed today. Medicare for all, yes, because of in the wait, is that Social Security, like in that Social Security clause, he can declare everyone gets health care, state of emergency. He can do that. He doesn't. He can get rid of student loans now. He doesn't. Joe Biden could do that. No one can stand in his way. Joe Manchin can't get in his way. Kristen Sinema can't get in his way. That's what he could do. The parliamentarian can't swoop in. Those are executive orders that he could do, that he just does not want to do. He will not do that. It's all right. So let's move on to Flint. This is something a lot of people aren't talking about, but shout out to Status Coup. They have not let this story die. And this was uncovered by Jordan Cheriton and the crew over at Status Coup, revealed the Flint water poisoning charges that never came to light. Okay, so here's what happened. This is from the article. Now, by the way, I actually messaged Jordan this morning. As of a little bit ago, and the recording of this, there are still no local outlets who have grabbed this story from Jordan. No local outlets in the area have grabbed this story. Who did publish it? The frickin' Guardian. So to reveal a story about a water crisis in the United States, you need to go to a different country. Well, you need to publish it yourself, and then you also need to go to a different country. The Guardian is who's publishing it, the Guardian has their own set of problems, don't get me wrong. But the Guardian is actually willing to publish this stuff. Nowhere domestic will. It's amazing.
He said
we are an empire.
Like,
what? I'm sorry.
Talking about this.
Yeah. All right. So here's what's happening. A team of prosecutors and investigators leading the investigation into the Flint water crisis from 2016 to 2018 were assembling a racketeering case against the architects. The case, which would have come under a RICO Act, it just sort of dissipated. The team was suddenly broken up, and the investigation was restarted with a new set of investigators. What happened? Critics point to Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel, running to replace the term-limited Republican Attorney General Bill Shute in 2018. Nessel, a Democrat, criticized the Flint criminal investigation under Shute as politically charged show trials and campaigned on revamping the investigation. Shortly after Nessel won the Attorney General race and took office, her administration fired the top prosecutors and investigators, and they have a new prosecution team. So now, all of a sudden, a lot of the fraud charges in the political realm are gone. So here's another paragraph here. When Nestle relaunched the investigation, her office dropped charges against top state and city officials, citing flaws in the shoot era investigation. In 2021, Nestle's office recharged several of those defendants with a new round of indictments that included involuntary manslaughter, misconduct in office, obstruction of justice, extortion, and perjury. But gone were the financial fraud charges. It's almost like the political realm is protecting their own. That's what it sounds like to me.
Absolutely. And I think something that gets lost so much when people talk about Flint is let's break this down. They are majority black and brown and poor people. This is eugenics. This is we are watching eugenics of the poor. This has been going on for fucking years. And these people are treated as they are expendable. Will there ever be ramifications? Realistically, I'm gonna bank on no.
Well, and by the way, Flint's not alone. I mean, Flint is definitely a leading example, and Flint they are very much suffering right now. But there are other communities in this country going through the same thing, where water supplies have been privatized and the effects have been disastrous, and nobody's talking about it. I mean, and shout out again to the Status Coup team. They go to Flint, they talk to these people. They see, I mean, you could see their coverage. These people, they have rashes from the water. I think someone it made their hair fall out.
Mm-hmm.
This is in the United States. This is, I mean, and there's no reason for it. There's no reason for it other than greed. Greed is the only reason this happens. And because, again, like you said, Joy, it's poor people, so they know they can get away with it. And now you have someone revealing this stuff, dedicating themselves to this beat, and local outlets don't even want to help. You got to go to the Guardian. Like it's absolutely, we are the empire. We are the empire.
And I mean, to me, I had Marianne Williamson back on my show the other day, and we were talking about Stephen Donziger. I mean, that is the epitome of I am going to take on oil for 3 decades. I am going to, expose the fact that these, the oil in the water was giving people cancer and killing indigenous people. And I'm going to go to jail, even though the oil company for years, who was ordered to pay, billions of dollars, has not given a cent. And then he's being, sent into prison. It's
unbelievable. It's unbelievable what that guy's going through. Now, they did let him. He is going to serve it out at home, right?
After 6 months. Yeah, he's at home. Yeah.
Which, by the way, is not justice served, just to be clear. But it's okay, we could be a little happy here that the guy is home. This is not justice because he did nothing wrong. Right. But at least he is at home with his children.
Right. And the judge was literally in cahoots with the oil company. Like, the story is so mind-blowing. Like, imagine dedicating your life to over 30 years to prosecute this and help indigenous peoples who have lost their loved ones. They literally told them that the oil in their water was okay. It was like milk. They literally told them this.
There's nutrients. It's good for you.
It's good. It's just kind of like a different kind of milk. Yeah. So it's kind of, you're seeing that on a bigger scale, and Flint is, the one that gets brought up a lot, but you are absolutely correct. There are other places in our country who do the same exact thing.
Well, and a lot of these crooks, they're looking at Flint and they're seeing, look how easily we got away with it. So they're going to try to get it. Hey, we can cover our political friends' backs. It's that easy. Great. Okay, we can get away with this. Great. They're still getting away with it. And I wonder if anyone will face true consequences. I hope so. And, again, shout out to Status Coup and there's a few other outlets out there who are keeping this story alive. The corporate media is ignoring it. The last time a mention of Flint was anywhere near MSNBC, CNN, or Fox News was when Michelle Wolf in her freaking her presidential, what was it, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, which she was very funny, by the way. I loved she did such a great job. And when she said at the end, hey, Flint still doesn't have clean water. That was her closer, which was freaking beautiful.
Yeah, I do want to give a shout out to Michael Moore, as annoying as he is sometimes. He does still talk about this, and his film Fahrenheit 11/9, he does document a lot of what happened, including them falsifying numbers of what was in the water and things like that. I mean, it's truly mind blowing. So there are documented issues, and
I think that's a fair take on Michael Moore. He is a good dude. He does good things. He can be a little annoying at times.
Yeah.
I think that's totally fair because like I don't love, but I know people love to circulate that quote of his where he talks about like staying in the United States, where he's just like, I refuse to live in a country like this, but I won't leave. And it's like, that's a nice sentiment, dude, but that's really easy to say when you have $5 million.
Yep.
It's really easy to stand on your soapbox and be like, I won't leave here because I'm financially immune from any of the problems. I don't have to worry about not being able to get a COVID test when my husband's sick. I don't have to worry about medical bills. I don't have to worry about going bankrupt if somebody in my family falls and breaks their arm. I don't have to worry about any of that. So I refuse to leave here. It's like,
it is a little less annoying than all the shit-lib celebrities who said they were moving to Canada when Trump was elected and never moved.
That's way more annoying. That's totally more annoying. It's just like, yeah, you know what? Put your money where your mouth is and actually move. And by the way, it's all a game to you. It doesn't really, like, you're going to get a tax break or a tax break. That's what's going to happen for you. You either pay less taxes or you pay less taxes.
Right.
So, all right. So, again, guys, I recommend you check out all of the work Status Coup has done on the Flint water crisis. They have done amazing things out there in Flint. And shout out to them for breaking this story. And what a shame that only international outlets will publish it. That is so remarkable. I hope that changes. I hope other places pick it up so more people know. But wow, that is something. I mean, I wanted to make sure because I saw Jordan tweeting about it where he's just like, yep, no one, Detroit Free Press, like nobody's freaking doing anything. I messaged him today and I'm like, hey, man, is it still? And he's like, yep. It's like, okay. So unless something changed within the past like hour and a half, that's still the case. Maybe it did. Who knows? But yeah. So anyway. All right, guys, you know me, digital rights. I will not quit talking about it. I think at this point I might be the only show that does. Speaking of underreported shit, net neutrality. So we've been covering that a bunch on this show. Gigi Sohn still has not been appointed to the FCC. Gigi Sohn is a net neutrality advocate. She would, switch the FCC to a 3-2 majority in favor of net neutrality, something Joe Biden promised. Joe Biden promised that. What else did Joe Biden do, though? He started his campaign with a bunch of Comcast executives at dinner. So speaking of Comcast, what are they up to now? Well, check this out. Comcast is trying to torpedo Biden's FCC pick, Gigi Sohn. So here, this is how good it is. Check this out. Comcast's hiring of a new lobbyist is an attempt to torpedo Gigi Sohn, the group Free Press alleged yesterday. Here's a quote from them. Comcast just hired a lobbying firm to try to torpedo Gigi Sohn's nomination to the FCC. The company clearly knows that Sohn will work for people, not corporations. So this is what they actually did. Comcast's newly hired lobbyist is Kirk Adams from Concilium Consulting in Phoenix, Arizona. So Adams, this guy, he had a lobbying disclosure. And in this disclosure, it lists some of the issues that he expects to work on. One of them literally said, they actually said it, FCC nominations. a democratic process that's supposed to reflect the will of the people. They're literally just saying the quiet part out loud. They don't give a shit. They're saying, yeah, you're going to work on FCC nominations. You're going to stop them. Now, they amended this because they thought, ooh, that's a little too on the nose. So an amended version of the lobbying registration filed about 11 hours later deleted FCC nominations and replaced it with telecommunications policy. That changes everything. They're just saying it. They don't care. You know what they probably thought? They probably thought, hey, we own a freaking, there's 3 major cable networks in the country. We own one of them. The other one is anti-net neutrality because it's also owned by a big cable company. And the third one, guess what? Anti-net neutrality too, because it would hurt their business model. So guess what? They're all anti-net neutrality. We can just say the quiet part out loud. Nobody will do anything about it. In fact, we just did a sleuthing over on the internet. We're pretty sure the only people talking about net neutrality are all the digital rights organizations in the country and a guy who streams from his living room and talks to a black cat. We're pretty sure that's it.
Well, I was so excited to do that special with you, Fight for the Future.
Shout out
that
to
was
them.
Really cool, and that was awesome to see so many people talking about it. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but on one of our shows where we did break down the Build Back Better bill, there was something in there about
for broadband.
Broadband.
Yes.
So that was one of the very few good things. And you know, it's so frustrating for someone like myself because I only have Comcast. Like that's all I have. I don't, like, a lot of people in Pennsylvania don't have a choice. Like in our area, that's the choice.
Yeah, a lot of people in the country don't have a choice. I mean, I have Cox. Like that's just the big cable in my area. You know, they're on the west. Yes, their emblem is actually a flying penis. They have a sense of humor. It's Cox. Yeah, that's what.
They like Bezos.
No, it's just, I mean, yeah, they're just the big cable option here, and it's. Yeah, I mean, well, and you bring up broadband. The other important thing, and we covered this story last week, having a 3-2 pro net neutrality FCC doesn't just help net neutrality. It also does help with the digital divide, because the digital divide, of course, is acknowledging places that are underserved for broadband throughout the country, which there's still a lot of places that fall into that category. Now, when you have a pro net neutrality FCC, what they will do is they will designate the internet a utility the way it should be designated, which means they can actually do more about the digital divide. And that will pave the way for more municipal broadband projects, which are city-owned internet. You guys know that municipal broadband is part of the mission here at this show. Places that have municipal broadband 100% of the time get better internet at a better price than anywhere else that doesn't. Go look at Chattanooga, Tennessee. They get better internet at a better price because your city's maintaining it. They're not a for-profit entity that's just trying to price gouge and profit and look at their profit margins. So it blows my mind when people say things like, do you really want your city running your internet? Do you really want your city? It's just like, how much do you hate where you live that you'd rather go with Comcast?
You know, and with so many schools homeschooling now because of the pandemic, I've literally seen pictures of little girls sitting in a Burger King parking lot to try and get Wi-Fi. That is unacceptable. That is fucking ridiculous. Everyone should have the same access to internet. It is such bullshit. And you know what? When I did a protest for net neutrality, when I gave my speech, I told people straight up, like, this could fuck with your porn. Why are you not more mad? Like, this is serious.
Well, that's the case I make whenever I'm talking about municipal broadband. I'm like, look, like when your city owns it, whether you're the richest resident, the poorest, the mayor, or anything in between, we all want our porn to load fast, don't we?
Exactly. Exactly. Like, do you guys understand how serious this is?
It's just, and here's the theme for today. And this is really the theme on this show. you know, a lot of people try to make it out like things like net neutrality aren't important, and they don't see how it connects to other issues, and they don't think FCC appointments are all that important. You know who realizes it is important though? Frickin' Comcast. The
Yeah.
people with the most power. They realize how important it is. And, going to Flint, Michigan, something that nobody is talking about, nobody is covering. They realize how important, and by the way, this ties into local politics and engaging locally. We don't do that much. We don't think that's important. We're not worried about any of that stuff. But you know who is? Real estate developers are. People who want to privatize your water supply, they're concerned about it. They pay attention to it. They love it. Whenever there's a community meeting and the only people who show up are freaking real estate developers, they're thrilled.
Yeah.
That means they don't have to worry about anyone. And we never talk about this. And I know it's not the sexiest thing for clicks. I get that. But you know what? I'm so fucking sick of losing. I am so fucking sick as a leftist in this country of a lifetime of losing nonstop. And the powerful, they got it figured out. They're like, hey, yeah, lefties, don't talk about school board. It's not important. Don't worry about it. Yeah, we got it. We'll do it. Don't worry about that. Yeah, don't worry about trying to strengthen unions. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about trying to have representation in your city councils. Yeah, don't worry about that. That's not important. That's not important. Let's talk about Joe Biden sticking his foot up his ass again. Talk about that. Stay distracted. Don't worry about the FCC. Don't worry about the FCC. Some of the most powerful and hated companies in the frickin' world are lobbying to make sure you don't have a pro net neutrality FCC, but it's not important. Don't worry about that. It's not a big deal. Let's just keep losing. We're approaching 100 years. Let's lose nonstop for 100 fucking more. We won't get to do that, by the way, because there won't be a country if that keeps up. We'll be done, which, is probably going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Holy
And it's very, I got mine. So this country as a whole has a lack of empathy and tons of cognitive dissonance, and I don't know what it's going to take. And please recognize, to anyone watching, this is not doom and gloom. Like, this is fucking reality. This is not pessimism. This is realism. Like, look around.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think, people have called me both pessimistic and optimistic before. I will say, like, if I look like Joe Optimism to you, I sincerely hope you're in therapy. I'm just saying, like, if you listen to my take on the world and what I say, do you think, wow, this guy, such an idealist? Like if someone's called me an idealist before, and I'm just like, I hope you're, seriously, like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, I hope you talk to someone regularly, because if you truly have that outlook on the world where I am fucking Joe naivety, Joe idealist to you, holy fuck. I call it like I see it, and I don't sugarcoat anything. I just call it like I see it. I'm also not Black Pill Magoo for the damn hell of it either. I'm not that guy either. I will call it like it is. I just, I can objectively say that we would be a lot better off if Bernie Sanders was president right now. I don't see how anyone can argue that that's just not, because there's these things called executive actions. We mentioned some of them before. Bernie would have done some of those. He just would have.
Be as pissed as you want at him, and he's definitely flawed, but just to say,
he has pissed me off immensely. Don't get me wrong. He has pissed me off immensely.
The name Joy and having this attitude, okay? Because I get told all the time I don't fit my name, and I'm going to take something from my comedy act that I did in LA and say, you know what? I didn't fucking name myself, and my parents named me before they knew I was going to be a fucking bitch. Okay, so this is my name. Deal with it. I can't help it.
Fine.
I am not the person to walk around like, everything is awesome. You'll never get that from me. I swear. I promise.
I don't think, and I know we're like, half joking, but I don't think that just because you kind of see things for what they are and you engage with the world around you in a very honest way, I don't think that means you're automatically joyless. And I know, like, we're joking around, but it's like, to get philosophical just for the damn hell of it. I don't think that makes one joyless, whether their name is
Yeah.
Joy or anything else.
I mean, you know me personally. I have plenty of fun. It's just politically, I want to cut
I've
a bit.
seen you high.
You have. You're
It
the
was
only person
it was
who
pretty funny.
well,
No,
except that recorded
your
it.
husband was there. Well, yeah, and a bunch of people on the internet have seen it. Oh, man. Joy, thanks once again for joining me. I always look forward to this time of the month. Guys, eat local, act local, and general strike. I feel like that's like all these stories like have a common theme that it's like we need our communities. That's all we have. And by the way, all this stuff that might not be the sexiest thing in the world is so important, and the powerful know it. When are we going to realize it? Hopefully soon. Because, again, long time of losing. Holy fuck, have we been losing? And
I
I'm
mean, I
so sick of
disagree
it.
because when I see guys online who are like, I just marched in the street so hard, and I'm like, so
That's fair. That's fair. Joy, where can everyone go to find you? And yeah, plug everything you need to plug.
So my Twitter is below on my handle. I do have a show I've done almost 5 years on YouTube, but preferably on Rockfin, and that is Savage Joy Marie Man. I do a show every Monday night, which Ron has been on, called Postmortem Breakdown. And please check out Monday's show. I had Reverend Annie Chambers, who is a Black Panther, friend of Fidel Castro, friend of Malcolm X, like gave birth on the March on Washington and kept marching, made Joel Osteen cry. Like, you don't want to miss this. It is fantastic. So I do that every Monday. Wednesday, I host panels. Tuesday, every other week, I do a show with Rob Durden from Political Fight Club. I'm here once a month. Fridays, I do a true crime show where this Friday, we're going to be breaking down a gentleman I spoke to in prison. I'm going to be interviewing him from prison again. He has been wrongly convicted for over 34 years. He was found innocent 10 years ago, but his paperwork sits on Gretchen Whitmer's desk. His name is Temujin Kensu. And he is working with the Innocence Project, and I'll be interviewing him again. We got to get him out. So please hit me up and watch my tweets for further info on how you can help Temujin hopefully see some freedom.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, Joy, and I will see you next month, if not before.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Good luck, and please give your husband my best. Please,
I will for
and
sure.
give Duchess a big old pet for me.
I will.
All right. Be well. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Savage Joy. Follow her on all this stuff. You get it. And she forgot to mention her book, but savageandpat.com. They wrote a very wonderful parody book called The Yas Queen Chronicles. That was Joy, along with Pat the Burner, who is awesome. And he has a really cool podcast out now, too. Let me go to the super chats here before we sign off. Venetia, what's up? I hope all is well in the UK. Thank you very much for the clapping hands. I appreciate that very much. Richard Greenwood, the Teats. I think you might mean tests, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm assuming you mean tests. Richard Greenwood says the teats are a fraudulent use of a research technique, according to the technique's inventor and Nobel laureate, Dr. Kari Mullis. Stop promoting this nonsense, you say. All right, Richard. Well, thanks for your take. And, that's fine that you feel that way. I think that tests are an important thing, and I think that we should not have a shortage of them. And tests should be totally available to people the way they are in other countries. Are the tests perfect? Hell no. They're not perfect, but I think they help, and there's no reasons for a shortage of them. The only reason we have a shortage of them is because of corporate greed. quite frankly. So, that's my take. But I appreciate your thoughts. Venetia, you say, thank you for stating the importance of PCR testing. It has worked very well in the UK, and we are steadily coming out of the pandemic thanks to free testing. It works. The science supports it fully. They got testing in the UK. They got it plentiful. Again, 7 can be sent. They send kids home from school with boxes of free tests. And again, I mean, this is Boris Johnson. It's not like this is lefty utopia going on out there. It's Boris Johnson. He's a freaking Tory. But they're like, yeah, we shouldn't have a testing crisis in a pandemic. We shouldn't have that. So thank you for that, Venetia. And I can't wait to see you when I'm on tour out there. Which, speaking to tour dates, I got him. And Justin, what's up? Thank you very much for the Super Chat contribution. I appreciate it very much. You say, thanks for keeping our privacy rights in mind. Absolutely. We talk about that a lot here. And data privacy. By the way, a lot of the bullshit going on with social media where we're having these debates, solution to it, we've talked about this on the show a bunch, data privacy. So they can't fucking spy on everything you're looking at. Because that's what they want. They just want to harvest your data. If you had data privacy, their algorithms wouldn't work anymore. Nobody wants to propose that very obvious solution. Why? Because it hurts the pocketbook of the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world. So thank you for that, Justin. I appreciate it. Thank you, Venetia. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Justin, for your thoughts and your Super Chat contributions. You help keep this show on the air. And guys, tour dates, I got them. First of all, I got something local out in Los Angeles in February. And then in April, I'm going to be out in the Northeast, Pittsburgh, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Burlington, Portland, Boston, New York City, baby. Get your tickets now. Don't wait. Romplacone.com. That's happening in April. Coming up, Romplacone.com for all those tickets. And by the way, patreon.com/Romplacone for a Give What You Can level. You can get a theme song for you or a loved one. Makes an awesome birthday gift. And Valentine's Day is coming up. That's a cool gift. That's for a Give What You Can level, so it's very affordable. And you get all kinds of other cool perks like patron streams and Zoom shows that I just do for patrons. You get all that for a Give What You Can level. And you can have a special gift for someone that doesn't involve any shipping. It also doesn't involve any overpriced jewelry. You get the idea. Patreon.com/Romplacone. Check out Savage Joy. Hope to see y'all on the road very soon. Act local, eat local, learn your local food economy. Go to battleforthenet.com. Demand that they confirm Gigi Sohn now. And in the meantime, you know the drill. Lucy says meow. I say peace, love, and a general strike. See y'all next time.